Привет из Дубая. С вами передача «Голубь мира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about media planning and let's start with the definition.
When you are going to advertise something, for example, your product, your service, or even your brand, you should use different kind of media. For example, it could be TV, newspapers, magazines, internet, forums, messengers, and so on. But you should understand that if you will give the same content in different channels, it will be too boring, and a lot of people would sick of the same context you are going to offer. So you could use a different way. For example, you could build a table and write different channels and different type of information like video, audio, pictures, text, and so on. And then you could make it like a mix. And you could make, for example, on TV short videos, on YouTube long videos, on Instagram you could make carousels or some other kind of pictures, or on LinkedIn or maybe on WeChat you could do something like interactive contents and so on. And all this job which should be done before you start spend money for advertising is called media planning.
And what is the difference between content planning or even the content strategy and the media planning?
Nice question, really nice one. Content planning, this previous step, like a zero step before you start to advertise. So you just understand which kind of content could you produce. For example, you have a team which is doing montage,
Editing.
video editing. Then, for example, you have several teams which could produce articles, and you have maybe some teams which can make demotivators and so on. And when you talk about just about content, this is content planning. But when you apply this table to exact channels like special channel on radio, several TV channels, several internet sites or messengers, it become like media planning.
Well, and obviously, when we're talking about different mediums or channels where we put our content, so how do we go about making sure that whatever we create, it actually will be delivered in time, so that we will be up to our schedule? And how do we deal with the situations when like something will be delayed?
Maxim, let me explain one example. I was responsible for revenue assurance and fraud prevention. That was one of my divisions. And suddenly I realized that, yes, okay, we capture some fraudsters, we put them on jail, but no one knows. So what could I do? For example, I could put articles in newspaper. I could make some reportage. Is it okay to say reportage?
It's better to say like a report.
Report on TV and so on. But how could I be sure that it would be delivered in time for same eyes and same ears, which I hope to be delivered? So I asked my colleagues who was working on a TV channel and the newspapers and so on, and then I got an answer. Please describe for us the portrait of your auditory. And I was saying, okay, this is age, sex, and some other stuff about this person. It's so-called social demographic portrait. And then they give me presentation and they show at which time, at which program on different TV channels, the biggest affinity index. I was never heard about this. Affinity index, it means that exactly exact time and exact programs when is watched or listened by people who is more similar to my auditory. So there is special so-called TV panels, and there are several companies which gives for some families like 2,000 families or 5,000 families per country special copybooks and special remote controls which are recorded who watching this TV or who listen this radio, and when it was switched to another channel. So it was like educational project for me. And after this, I know if you want to make advertisement of something, you could go and ask, for example, on TV for affinity index. When you go in, for example, to internet site, you should ask about, so it's so-called press portrait. So they will give you how many women, how many men at different ages, what they read, what they watch, and how long they stay on the site.
And so one thing is probably the segmentations of the users and crafting your message so that it would be delivered to the right audience at the right time in the right format. But there is actually one thing that you at the school troubleshooters do different is the content consistency, because usually what we can observe that, like if there is like a big event, it will be like going through all of the channels at one time, and it will be more or less the same. But what you do is actually different. Basically, like in a different channel, there are different types of the information, and there are different themes. So what is the benefits of doing it this way?
The so-called waves. For example, we have several boxes of conserve cans.
Can
We have several boxes of cans. For example, right now we record with you the video which will be shown after maybe 8 or 18 months. So we could not interfere in this process. It will go live when it will go. Nothing could change, but we have several waves. For example, at the first wave, we will put everything on the channel. For example, from School of Troubleshooters on YouTube, on internet site, on I don't know, social networks. But after several months, we will make the same from my side or from side of our partners. So we have several waves, and in each channel, we will give each kind of contents, but in different time. So, for example, if I will put something on my internet channel, like YouTube, it will give us, I don't know, like 20% of views. Then we will put it in School of Troubleshooter site, and after 3 months, it will give us another 20%. Then we will make the same, but for example, Facebook and LinkedIn from School of Troubleshooters, but which goes to YouTube. And after we will make the same from my side. So we use several waves to give our contents several chances to be viewed or to be listened.
This is actually a very neat way to do the coverage. So it's more like, I would consider it more like a waves or even a layer, so that the information get like in a proper way to someone's head. But when it comes to some of the businesses that would consider like a seasonality, or like any like a public holidays, or anything that it comes from the external world that would affect them. So how long should be their horizon of the planning?
To be honest, when I was working for Alpha Bank, this is the largest private bank in Russia or on territory of ex-Soviet Union, I was making a lot of different exercises because I was not limited by money of my shareholders. And then I understand that if I will wait for high season or before high season, I would spend more money. If I will make all advertisement like a flat on low cheap profile, it would be much better. For example, there are several times when everyone is thinking, okay, I will give my info, for example, back to school, season greetings, and some other professional celebrations. But at this same time, you will have much higher price for your content to be published. This on the first point. And second point, would be much more competition. No one goes to advertise, for example, banking products during May to July. But this is a very great time. I was owner of internet shop for a very long time, and I was operating of this. And some day there is a girl. She came to me and suddenly she told me, "You're doing everything wrong. You make calculation and you calculate how many clients were given to your business by different sites. Let's forget it. Let's buy on all sites the cheapest advertisement." And then I was thinking, what a stupid idea. And then she continued, "You will get much more views." This is first point. And second point, you will make for everyone else on the market advertisement more expensive. And at this point, I was thinking, yes, it's a great idea. I will do it.
Well, it sounds like really interesting when you're trying to actually go against the common rules and basically use, I would say, like maybe math and a bit of, like a analysis on like what exactly could be leveraged. My next question will be, giving that, media planning also might be sort of like a complex process, especially when it comes to, like a different parties that actually would be involved. So what would be the common mistakes people make when they're trying to build their own plans?
First mistake is often done by infogurus. They put too many pictures of themselves. For example, I am trying to sell some courses about mental health. What I will do, I will take several t-shirts and I will make, I don't know, 1,000 shoots from one day. The same прическа, haircut, the same haircut, different t-shirts, almost the same light, almost the same interior, and I will put all the day different pictures, and everyone is thinking, okay, it's okay, I have my picture, and then I will write something very wise. But people look at this and they think, why you put in your face so many times? You do nothing, you give nothing. So, for example, I change this and usually I give information about what is the subject. For example, the subject is Excel lecture and we will give some bullets. Or, for example, this is about book. For example, today I was reading book which maybe would be the best book of the year. It's about Kazakhstan athlete which ran several triathlon distance, and so he win Dakar rally. Amazing book, and this is a huge picture. He stand on the обложка, on the cover.
Cover.
He hand with medal with the cover and the several bullets from his book. Nothing about me, nothing.
Well, this is actually interesting, given that, like when you're trying to plan something, you could consider different moving parts. Think about like going into different long horizons, probably use a bit of like a technology and, like a bit of statistics and make sure you don't make all of the mistakes. But last question will be how knowing about media planning could help to make this world a better place.
This is a very right question, how to make the world the better place. If we will put our picture, if we will put our wise thinking in internet, this will change nothing. For example, with Maxim, we wrote several articles about very sophisticated algorithms, and usually not too many people who could understand them. And we spent a lot of time. First, we create a presentation to show how this goes. Then we put these pictures inside the article. And maybe several persons who will try to understand, they will understand the meaning of this algorithm from our article. There is nothing about us. This is about ideas. This is about knowledge. So if you give something very useful, like instruments, you will make the world a better place to live.
Думайте не только о себе, а также и о мире, которому вы хотите что-то сказать. А мы рассмотрели навык медиапланирования и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира!